Want to create something extraordinary? Create perfection. Our lifestyle appliances make it easy. KitchenAid, Ventura TV appliance, and you, when only the best will do.
Hello there, I'm John Malos. Welcome to this edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV. On this Thursday morning, it's a Your Community segment. Today, we're going to be talking about the Fresno Search and Rescue Team. Two guests in the studio today, 436 MeTV, option 11. Do turn down the sound. Hey, aren't you glad it's raining today? We do need the water. Back in a moment. And welcome back to the program here on Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno on this Thursday morning. And of course, it is a Your Community segment. And before we get started today on this rainy day here in the city of Fresno, I want to talk about our YouTube website just a little bit, because I get so many questions about people wanting to see past episodes of Connect with Me. More than 450 now are on the website. It's youtube.com/, and then MeTV Fresno, and then click on recent episodes. You can watch the recent ones, or you can watch the ones from, say, a year or two ago. It's your choice. Get on the website, youtube.com/MeTV Fresno. Now to our topic today, and that's the Search and Rescue Team. It's called SAR. And, you know, this is a very valuable unit right here in the city of Fresno, and also all of Fresno County. It serves other counties as well. It's a useful tool because why? Well, in the spring, in the summer, in the wintertime, whenever the case may be, year-round, people go up to the mountains. They go hiking, they go skiing, they go camping, whatever the case may be, and suddenly the unpredictable happens. They get lost. Their friends don't know where they are. Their family doesn't know where they are. And so, enter SAR, the Search and Rescue Team. Let's go to the videotape. I'll show you exactly what I am talking about. Yes, it is called SAR, Search and Rescue, all part of the Fresno County Sheriff's Department and the general viewing public. What do I mean by that? Well, the program is made up of members of the Fresno County Sheriff's Office and community volunteers. You must be 18 years or older, both male and female. But remember, all applicants are subject to a background check, criminal history, and driving record. You're looking at video of the Search and Rescue Team in training, climbing a rock somewhere in the foothills here, using ropes and learning how to climb at steep angles. There are 4 units to the Search and Rescue Team: the Mountaineer Unit, the Mounted Posse, the Jeep Rescue Unit, and the Air Squadron. Live in our studio right now is Sergeant Joe Smith of the Fresno County Search and Rescue Team, and with him is Deputy Chris Curtice of the Fresno County Sheriff's Office. They are here to answer your questions, and your phone calls are important. 436 MeTV option 11. Do remember to turn down that sound. In other words, don't pick up the phone like this, okay, and then have the TV blaring in the background. Not going to work. 436 MeTV option 11. Back in just a moment.
Remember me?
After practicing law, Raymond Berg fought crime.
You have the right to an attorney.
As a hard-boiled detective on wheels,
Ain't it the truth?
his name is Ironside.
Perhaps you wouldn't mind saying it again.
His name is Ironside.
All right, now you've said it.
Nothing slows him down.
I want to see this one firsthand.
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Now, what are we waiting for?
Okay, all right. We're back here on the show. Connect with me on MeTV Fresno. We are a little confused here at the beginning. Okay, I guess everything is all right. Anyway, Joe Smith is here. Chris Curtice is here. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good.
Everything okay?
Thanks for having us, John.
Hey, thank you. I really appreciate it. Search and Rescue Team, you've been on this squad for how long?
11 years.
Oh, wow. 11 years. And I guess I'll ask you a question kind of like I would ask an athlete. What is the most memorable moment, I guess, for you in the past 10 or 11 years that you've been doing this?
We've had a few. It'd be tough to choose any one particular. Depends on where we're at in the county. Depends on the weather. I've had a few stories that I could go back and talk about. I don't know which one specifically you'd want me to mention.
Oh, it's okay. I just wondered if there was any one particular gratifying moment that you had, maybe rescuing somebody that was in trouble and that you can remember. But that's okay. It's tough to remember 10 years ago or even 5 years ago.
No, actually, about 10 years ago, back in October of '04, our team was responsible for finding a wine family out of the Santa Cruz area. They had been lost. It had snowed 6 feet over the course of 3 days. And some of the members from our team found them up at the Ray Lakes area, and it made national news. It was quite a big deal.
Chris, talk about the search and rescue team and how it came how it came to pass, how this team was formed originally. There's a lot of information on your website, which I got. Great site. How was this team formed?
Well, I believe it's even in the Constitution, the California Constitution. The sheriff's offices are responsible for searches and rescues in their respective counties. I can go probably back to the 50s. I actually know a former deputy. He's 89 right now. Mm-hmm. He was part of the search and rescue squad back at that time. He showed me pictures of a rescue they did of a Boy Scout back in what they call the third recess in the Eastern Sierras. And in looking at the pictures of all these guys on horseback, these are deputies, brought their own horses at the time, their own equipment they would buy. And here's him and a handful of other deputies, and they've rescued this Boy Scout. And you look at the picture, and then you look at a picture now. The third recess looks the exact same. It's the same spot.
But
they've been doing it for years.
You have to have the resources, and to get the resources, you have to have the money to do it, obviously. And this search and rescue team has grown over the last 4 or 5 decades, right?
Yes.
Right.
Where does that money come from? Just taxpayer money, or?
Well, the resources that we mostly use are from these volunteer teams that you mentioned earlier in the program. And without the citizens of Fresno County stepping forward with their own equipment, their own time, and their own money, we wouldn't be able to do some of the things that we do.
How many volunteers?
I'd say between the 4 units that you mentioned, there's over 200.
That's a lot. And then how many on your search and rescue team that actually work for SAR?
We have 14 sworn deputies and then 3 sergeants assigned to the team. And then the 4 units, the mountaineering team, they have over 100 volunteers. The Jeep unit, they've got maybe 30 to 40 guys, and each one of those guys, they're required to own and maintain their own 4x4 vehicle.
You use a helicopter too, right?
That's the Air Squadron. We use them.
Let's go to the videotape. We've got the Air Squadron. I do believe we do have that videotape, and you can talk over that and talk about, what we're seeing on the screen here. There it is right there.
Yeah, that's part of our air support unit. That'd be Eagle One, taking off from either Chandler or the Fresno International. You can see the orange shirt there, so somebody obviously from the SAR team is inside there. Our Air Squadron team is a bunch of volunteers that maintain and operate their own plane, and they will fly over the Sierras when we're up there and we have some radio communication issues.
Yeah.
They act as a radio relay for us. They can also scout and try and find an actual vehicle that might be parked next to a trailhead.
Here's the question with the helicopter. Maybe, Chris, you can talk about this, or even you, Joe. When is the wrong time to go up in a helicopter in terms of weather?
A lot of that has to do with the pilot, and obviously when you talk about the weather conditions, luckily our pilots they're very seasoned, number one. They know when's a good time. They know when they can fly, when they can't fly. A lot of times, and in recent years, we've started to rely on them a lot to be basically the first responder to a call out of a rescue or a search. And many times they'll be able to hit the area early, go and spot the person or people, and then we know where we're sending teams into. And many times Eagle One's able to land and rescue people on their own and fly them out. So they're a huge resource for the search and rescue team. But many times when they can't, we have to get guys to hump in and Sometimes it means several miles. Maybe Eagle 1 can take them 2 at a time or something from one location to a specific drop point, and from there they can hike in the rest of the way, but a lot of times it's several miles. And I'm actually shocked. Probably the last 10 years I've been more in tune with what the SAR team's all about, and I would say the guys on the SAR team, guys and women on the SAR team, it's the premier unit in the department. It's we're known throughout the state on how professional and how good our team is, and I would put them up against anyone. They work unlike other people I've seen in the department.
And I don't know the answer to this question, so correct me if I'm wrong. Could I also consider the SAR team a crime-fighting team?
No.
In addition to search and rescue, or no?
On occasion, we'll come across something that the deputies will recognize as a crime scene. Because oftentimes, in fact, I can recall a call out from about 4 years ago. A boyfriend and girlfriend had run away from their respective homes, and they had made some sort of a suicide pact. And the girlfriend had changed her mind. We actually were able to get our hands on her, and then the boyfriend, it became an issue of trying to get him to put the knife down, and there was a crime scene up there that we had to tape off and kind of put our deputy hats on at that point. But for the most part, our job is simply to search out anyone that's lost and rescue them.
Right. All right, we are talking with Joe Smith, the sergeant for the SAR team, search and rescue team for the Fresno County Sheriff's Department, a well-renowned, obviously, group here in the state of California, and Chris Curtice from the Fresno County Sheriff's Office as well. They serve our community well here in the Central Valley. There is no question about it. 436 MeTV, option 11 is the telephone number. We're back with our program in just a moment.
Now, why don't you tell us the whole story right from the beginning? All right. From the beginning. This is the city, Los Angeles, California. My name's Friday. I carry a badge. Police officers.
You any idea who the other man was?
My partner's Bill Gannon.
Program?
We got just one big question.
Yeah.
When?
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Back here on our program, glad to have Joe Smith, the sergeant from the SAR team, and Chris Curtice in the building today talking about search and rescue. And there is another aspect you were talking, Chris, about the search and rescue team when they have to put their deputy hat on and fight crime.
Well, like Joe was just saying about that, we have so many sworn personnel that are part of the SAR team.
Yeah.
4 or 5 years ago, we had a instance up in the foothills. We were looking for a murder suspect who apparently was camping out with his girlfriend and infant son. He was armed. He was
They
dangerous.
actually had a campfire going?
Well, it turns out they did at one point. That was one of the reasons we were able to find them. First of all, Eagle 1 did a phenomenal job of flying at nighttime using night vision in the foothills to spot this person with their FLIR, and we could actually see him walking through a very remote area with a rifle. Once we got that, we had SWAT and SAR. As the time went on for the next 48 hours plus, SWAT and SAR team members were up there, and SWAT doesn't always train in the foothills in rural areas like that. They do a lot of building searches and things like that, and in recent years we've had some incidents where they've had to restructure some of their training with the SAR team to learn things in more rural areas, in mountains, in forests and things like that. So we had several SAR members who were part of that and assisted in the search for this guy, and we ultimately found him.
Now, I notice you're carrying a sidearm, but you carry other types of weapons with you as well, just in case?
Well,
like any law enforcement, you are a law enforcement officer,
yeah,
so you
I'm
carry other.
I'm a
yeah,
sworn
you're sworn
sergeant.
obviously, yeah.
All of our deputies were required to carry our sidearm, like you mentioned, in the field. And it's not just for people. Obviously, when we're out there searching, you're going to come across a wild animal that, could be a bear, could be a mountain lion. We're not sure, and we have confronted those in the past. So it's nice to have a weapon to, for our safety.
Protect yourself. Yeah, that's right. We do have more videotape, and that is the, the practice climbs on these rocks out there in the foothills. And I want to talk to you, Joe, about what's the difference between, say, a sworn officer in the city and, say, you guys have to do this. Look at this. This is obviously in the foothills someplace there. You're rock climbing. You're trying to, work on different angles and things of that nature. What are you talking about in terms of different types of training for your team?
Well, when you're talking about going out into the Sierra Nevadas, you have terrain that you're not going to find in the city. Looking at this video, you can see there's an altitude issue. There's steep angles, and what happens is generally some of these people, they want to go out and capture a moment on their camera or their video, and they will fall off of a rock or a ledge, and the only way to get to them is to rappel down or be lowered down and then tie the victim or the person that we're recovering into some sort of a harness and then get them up to safety. And it's important that we don't put our own lives in jeopardy, so we train over and over and over so that when that moment comes, we're going to be safe and the person that we're rescuing is going to be safe.
How much of this training do you do during the course of the year?
The volunteer teams train monthly, and then the deputy team trains on the fourth Monday of every month, and then we also have additional multi-day trainings in the winter and summer.
Got a call coming in. Good morning. You're on Connect With Me. Your question.
Yes, I wanted to find out, as well as Fresno PD, does the Sheriff's Department, do they need volunteers?
The Sheriff's Department's always looking for volunteers. All of the units, you have to be 18 years of age, unless it's the Air Squadron. You need to be 21 years.
And they do a criminal background check, right?
Yes, you get live scanned. You get your fingerprints. If you have a criminal background where there's a felony involved, you're probably not going to be picked up.
Even if it's a DUI, right? I mean, you're out.
Actually, I couldn't speak to that.
Okay.
I would say that for the most part, if there's a felony on your record, you're probably not going to be.
It's safe to say you've got to have a clean record, or you can't volunteer.
Right.
Isn't that safe to say, Chris?
For the most part, yes. But they'll look at the person. They'll look on when the offense was.
Yeah.
Misdemeanors, they'll look at when that was. If it's several years ago, they take all that into account. But one of the best things for the caller that he can do is get on the sheriff's website.
Okay.
FresnoSheriff.org, and go to the search and rescue section, and they'll have the contact information, and it'll give you all the details on how to become a volunteer.
Hey, first, before we move on, I first want to talk about the four units. I want to put that up on the screen, and it's the Rescue Mountaineer Team I want to put up first, because I want to explain what each of these squadrons do. This is off the Fresno County website. Team members are trained in a variety of search and rescue disciplines, including orienteering, tracking, wilderness, winter survival, first aid, CPR, swift water and high-angle rescue, helicopter safety, search techniques, and search management. Now, these skills facilitate the members' ability to respond to a variety of urban and wilderness emergencies. What did I say? Can you explain that in layman's terms?
The mountaineering team they're basically going to be responsible for showing up, and just like the deputies, they're going to be walking on the ground. We call them ground pounders.
Okay.
So they're going to be hiking over the course of several miles or just a short distance, but they will be on foot.
Another call. Good morning. You're on Connect With Me. Your question quickly, please. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Yeah, turn your set down. Yeah, turn your television set down, please.
All right.
Turn the volume down on your TV set, please. Are you there? Caller? Okay, I guess you're not. All right, if you do call in, 436 MeTV option 11, do turn down the sound on your TV set, or else we'll sit there and say, hello, are you there? Anyway, Mounted Posse, let's take a look at this real quick. Fresno County Sheriff's Office Mounted Posse provides search and rescue services in the backcountry environment of rural Fresno County. Of course, you can kind of read the rest for yourself. Explain what this Mounted Posse, what their duties are, if you can.
The good thing about the mounted posse is that when you're on a horse, you're elevated up off the ground. So unlike the mountaineering team where you're walking along, these guys up on their horses, they have another 6 feet of distance. And horses, they can walk over many types of terrain, and the guy on the horseback, he's not getting tired. The horse is doing the work. So they're able to travel long distances. Again, like I mentioned, they're on a perch, basically. They can see things from just that little bit of elevation up off the ground that someone on the ground might not be able
So
to
it
see.
seems like each one of these units, they have their own responsibilities, like the Jeep and Rescue unit. Let's put that up real quick before we go to break. This group, of course, of volunteers came into being 1965, I guess it is. And is this group made up mostly of volunteers?
It's all volunteers.
It's all volunteers. Okay.
All groups are the volunteers for Air Squadron, Jeep Rescue, Mountaineers, and
Everything. They're all volunteers.
They all.
Okay. All right. And the Air Squadron, let's put that up before we go to break as well. We can read some of that. The Fresno County Sheriff's Air Squadron is a non-profit organization of volunteer pilots and aviation technicians offering their skills and aircraft to assist the Fresno County Sheriff's Department in providing public safety and law enforcement. So the Air Squad, each one of these units, it's like 4 different arms working in unison, right?
Right. They will generally respond to the same call out, but what they do is different from one another. The Jeep unit, you got to have a 4x4 vehicle. We will use them for transportation to take a team down a 4x4 trail so that it saves our legs. You know, they're going to take us 5 miles and then give us a starting point.
Okay.
And these aren't your weekenders. The mounted posse, these are cowboys. These are horse people. They are not your, I'm going to go out and ride my horse pleasure riders. These guys live, eat, and breathe, sleep horses. The Jeepers, they're four-wheelers. They're really into, that's their deal. And the Air Squadron, they own their own planes.
What you're saying
flyers.
is they know the terrain, they know the area, they know Fresno County. These are not just, amateurs doing this.
Well, that comes from their training. They learn
Right.
the county. They train just like everybody else on the team.
Right.
But these guys, again, they live, eat, breathe, and sleep what they do. If you're into airplanes, you're into airplanes. If you're into horses, you're into horses. That's what these people are. And when you see members of the posse come out, you're seeing what you'd call real cowboys. When they're not helping us, they might be out herding cattle.
That's why this is the best of the best. SAR, Search and Rescue Team, Fresno County Sheriff's Department. You're watching Connect with me on MeTV Fresno. Back with our 2 guests, 436 MeTV option 11. Do turn down the sound if you call in. Back in a moment.
Frigidaire. It means the first electric refrigerator. The first compact electric range. Now, there's the Frigidaire Gallery Range with Symmetry double ovens. It's designed to cook multiple dishes at multiple temperatures, so you can prepare the entire meal at the same time. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Hey, we're back here with our 2 guests. Joe Smith, he is a sergeant with SAR, Search and Rescue. Chris Curtice, Fresno County Sheriff's Department. You probably recognize his face. He's at all the press conferences, right? Anyway, you've been doing that for how many years now? You've been the PIO, Public Information Officer for the county?
Since 2006, I believe it is.
You do a great job, by the way. I just want to say
Thank you.
that. You're everywhere, and you do a great job in serving, not only helping the media get information out to the public, but you're a service to our community. Great job, Chris.
Thank you.
Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. Your question.
Good morning, John. And to your guest, did you have anything to do with finding that girl that worked in Yosemite? She was an employee. I think it happened last year. If you could kind of talk about that a little bit, I appreciate that. And how, if you did, how did you find her? Thank you. Very much.
Wait a second. Which case are you referring to?
That
do you
was,
know?
I think it was last year, and she worked in Yosemite. She got lost hiking, and she was missing for a day or two. I don't know. It could have been.
Are you talking about the elderly female?
I think so. She was an employee, a young lady. Wasn't too old.
Okay.
Wasn't too old.
It's hard to tell. We get asked.
You deal with so many cases, right?
Well, and we will respond to other counties. It's called a mutual aid request.
How many others do you respond to? Kings, Tulare?
Oh, yeah. We'll go up to Mariposa, Merced, Madera. We'll go over the state. And we were in Yosemite Valley twice last year, and we were looking for a resident that had gone out to look for some rocks for her garden. She actually is a resident of the Yosemite area, got lost, and poor gal, she was out all night, freezing temperatures. She did survive. She was injured, But we, the search and rescue team with Fresno, we even go to the coast. We'll go to Monterey.
Let's put up some more video of that training, or even the helicopter, it doesn't matter which. And I want to talk about what kind of equipment you take with you on search and rescue, depending on the conditions, right? Whether it's winter, spring, summer. Does that make a difference as to what you take with you?
It makes some difference, but regardless of what the season is or where we're going, you need to take your essentials. You're going to have to take plenty of water. You know, you need to stay hydrated. You're going to
medical supplies?
Sure. You're taking a small first aid kit, something for yourself or someone that you were to come across. You're going to take extra clothing. You're going to take something that's going to create a fire, whether it be a lighter or some waterproof matches. A map and compass. Every deputy and volunteer is going to carry that. You need to know how to use those items. You can't just take them out in the field and not understand them. In fact, if you go to the Fresno County website that Chris mentioned earlier, we have a list of the essentials, and generally everyone in the field is going to have those.
Do you have to be a special kind of breed to do this job, Chris?
I would say yes. My wife has been on the team for several years. She's currently a lieutenant in charge of the team, and she's definitely a different breed than I am. I'm more the street. I want to go catch bad guys, and she's been an outdoors person her whole life.
But it's not for the average Joe.
No.
It's not for any average Joe. You've got to fight inclement weather, oftentimes rough and tough and tumble conditions. Not for the meek. Right?
Well, I don't think anything that we do at the sheriff's office is for the meek, but like I said earlier, the SAR team, my eyes have been open in the last 10 years, and they are hardcore. They train hard, they work hard when they work. I've been at several of their camps and some in the field a little bit, but nothing what they go. Some of the terrain they go through is unbelievable.
Besides the obvious training that we saw in the video up there on the monitor, what do you do to work out? To stay in shape?
Well, like I mentioned,
with weights or?
Oh, sure. I do that on my own.
Away from the job.
Yeah, most of the guys on the team, they have got their own fitness routine that they're going to do. Sure.
Okay.
And on occasion, we will test the members of the team. We'll do what's called a fitness hike, and we'll go up to anywhere 6,000 to 9,000 elevation and just climb.
A little friendly competition, huh?
A few miles, just to see where everybody is at as far as their physical condition.
Right. Well, you guys do a terrific job, and we commend you. And this is a year-round job. This isn't just it's a part-time job. We're doing this only in the spring and summer. It's all year round, and you never know when you're going to get the call. You're on call 24/7, right?
That's right. 365 days a year. We're subject to call out. So you could be enjoying some time with your family or in the movies or whatever the case may be, and you're going to get a cell phone call at 2 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon. Just depends on the circumstances of the lost person.
Yeah. Appreciate you coming in. Chris, always good to see you. Well, hey, thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
I appreciate it. Chris, good to see you.
Thanks,
you
Joe.
Come back. All right. Thank you, Joe, and you too. You guys come back. You're welcome here anytime. The search and rescue team here in Fresno County doing a terrific job. Glad to see you, and glad it's raining. That's going to do it for us today here on MeTV Fresno. A special Super Bowl edition tomorrow here on Connect with Me. See you then.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Samsung big screen we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an HD 3D web-enabled Samsung TV. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
1 Adam 12. 1 Adam 12.
This is Adam 12. It stars Martin Milner as Officer Pete Malloy, Kent McCord as Officer Jim Reed.
1 Adam 12, roger.
This black and white patrol car has an overhead valve V8 engine. It develops 325 horsepower at 4,800 RPMs. It accelerates from 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. It has a top speed of 120 miles an hour. The automobile has 2 shotgun racks, one attached to the bottom portion of the front seat, one in the vehicle trunk.
You want me to drive?
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
When you're looking for KitchenAid innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, we'll help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified KitchenAid appliances save you energy and money and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.